Live from Harbor Station, it's the Vector Spaceman Show. Now here's your host, Vector Spaceman.
Hello, Space Cadets, everybody. It's your old pal, Vector Spaceman. Guess what? We're back at it again. We're coming to you live, of course, straight from Harbor Station, once more broadcasting on all frequencies to our beautiful planet Earth. Now, whether you're watching us live... Oh, geez, hold on. Why does this keep happening? There we go. Good thing we didn't freak out. Don't you know we're glad to have you on board tonight? Thanks for helping us make outer space the place to be. On today, Tuesday, June 24th, 2025. Welcome back, Space Cadets, and if it's your first time tuning in tonight, hey, welcome aboard. I'm Vector Spaceman. This is the Vector Spaceman Show, your one-stop supply for all your daily recommended Vector Spaceman essential vitamins and minerals. We're doctor recommended. We're pending board approval and certification. It's our last sunny Tuesday afternoon in June, and it's not an important stream tonight. It's not a groundbreaking stream tonight. It may not even be a very long stream tonight, but we gotta keep it up. We gotta tune in. We gotta keep coming back. It's easily one of the highlights of our week, is getting to spend time with our lovely Space Cadets, so thanks for tuning in tonight, everyone. Now, if you missed the last show, we had a nice long dive into the mind of a spaceman as we took on a career aptitude quiz, only to get paywalled after all our hard work and effort was all over and done with. I still feel like we came away with a bit of deeper insight, don't you? Then, of course, over the weekend, we had a long overdue karaoke stream, got to belt out some tunes of today and yesteryear, some fine tunes, thanks to everybody who tuned in, made requests, and joined us on our musical journey for what made a very fine Saturday. Thanks for that. We don't often get a good chance to do karaoke streams, but we do love every minute of them. Will there be more this summer? Perhaps? Well, keep your ears to the ground, or to space for that matter. Stay up to date with all of our broadcasts so that you never ever miss a show. Be sure to follow Vector Spaceman on Twitter, YouTube, Blue Sky, and of course right here on Twitch. For some reason, our standard shout-out still isn't working. We'll get it fixed one of these days. Space Cadets, we had a pretty decent, alright, okay, straight up not terrible day today. We're just setting a high bar for what we're used to. We're still not loving the job. I'm pleased to report it's still weighing on us, still draining us, still sapping our will to be. Yesterday, it felt like I was close to just giving up. It was rough, I gotta say. I was mid-work, and it's just like, what are we even doing here? Today, things were slow, though. I got to fill my time with other pursuits. A little free time to myself. It's Make a Terrible Comic Day, June 24th, every year. So what did we do? We made a terrible little comic. You can find that over on the Blue Sky page. Do we actually have a Blue Sky shoutout? We do not. So instead, I would recommend you check out Vector Spaceman, all one word, bluesky.social. It's where you can find most of our posts these days, because we haven't really been posting anything over on the Twitter page, aside from like live notices and reblogging, stuff like that, retweeting things. Ever since they made that change where it's like, okay, we're gonna scrape all your posts for, visual data so we can sell it off to image generators and what have you. They were very transparent about it, which, we appreciate. It's nice when your villains are, forward-facing. There's no duplicity there. That would be the worst thing, would be the deceit of it all, But thankfully, we know what they're about, so we just don't post, edits and jokes and memes and what have you over there as often as we do, or as often as we used to. Blue Sky's it's just way more inviting. It's way kinder. Like, I'll check over on the Twitter page, see what everybody else is doing. Because, of course, we still got a lot of friends who are over there as well. What's good, Faceless Ace? How are you doing? What's good? What's good on this fine Tuesday afternoon in June? We're just chit-chatting at the moment, catching up. It's been a week. Well, it's not even been a week, technically. If you tuned in on Saturday, you would have got to see the karaoke stream. And if you didn't, then it has been a week. How have you been? I hope you've been doing well. Hope you had a good week. We're just lamenting how you say the Twitter has sort of fallen off over the past few years, and why we don't use it so much anymore. Why we've switched over to Blue Sky exclusively, almost exclusively, because they're not churning up all of our images and videos and stuff for some plagiarism machine, you know what I mean? It's just not ethical. Little rant over. Big chillin', I'm glad to hear it. Twitter's just a bunch of bots talking to each other. It seems like that. Like it's all... There's too much anger there. I go over to Blue Sky, I feel very content. You know? All my internet friends are there, and they're just posting nice things. Everybody's being nice to each other. You only see what you want to see. I go over to Twitter to check on stuff there, and it's all negativity. It's all scams. It's not the place to be. Which is why we sort of, kicked it to the curb. Ditched it. Done. Easy peasy. And it's so easy to just let go of it. I found that a lot recently. It's so easy. Anything that I've felt addicted to over the years, when I finally do kick it, it's just so easy. MMOs, kick them. Done. The amount of money I spent on those, forget about it. We're over it. Freaking these battle pass style games and stuff that try to rope you in, keep your time and attention. You go like a week, 2 weeks, forget about it, it's out of your mind. It's cleared. So I don't know if that says that I just don't have a particularly addictive personality or what. I love that you can actually curate your feed on Blue Sky instead of seeing whatever slop someone paid $8 to repost. Exactly. That's the other thing. There was a month where we paid for the Twitter Premium or whatever it is, whatever they called it at the time, for the purpose of promoting one of our animated skits. And I actually think that was... So the day that we signed on to that was the same day that there was a huge Twitter outage. So it was the worst possible timing of anything. Witherling, how are you doing? Vector's kicking the bucket? No, we're kicking bad habits to the curb. Kicking them down the road, kicking them out of our lives, This is self-improvement general. How are you doing, Witherling? It's so good to see you. I've been seeing you post all sorts of cool stuff. One of our favorite artistes over the past few days. I've been liking everything that I see because that's how we support around here. And I'm pretty sure that we see Witherling over on Blue Sky as well. It's the place to be. Because Twitter is for dorks. No disrespect to all my fellow dorks. But yeah, we're just catching up after last week's stream. We were real down in the dumps last week, I gotta say. This new job is not it. We gotta find something else to do. Otherwise, it's just gonna keep wearing us down, man. Wearing us down. But like I was saying, we got to fill our time with making that terrible comic, like make a terrible comic day event for today while I was at work, and the time just flew by. I did not feel terrible about myself. What does this tell you, Spaceman? This tells you that you need to be doing more creative pursuits. You need to try to leverage that into your day-to-day. It's simple. It's easy. It's right there in front of you. Get that tablet out. Start writing stuff again. Get another script going. You're right, Spaceman. You're always so right. Man, the wisdom coming out of this little orange fella. He's talking about kicking habits while I'm smashing this monster. I gotta admit though, I probably got how many do I got here? I got a few monsters under the desk too. Sugar-free though. I'm making some changes, some good changes. Listen, I'm not gonna pretend that a lot of our best work wasn't fueled by taurine and inositol and whatever kind of funky chemicals that just kept us caffeinated, motivated, chemically charged. It's pure fuel. Zero Ultra's the refined older man. The distinguished gentleman. I just picked up a bunch of fruity flavors, mangoes and things like that. I'm pretty basic. Do more dumb creative things. No one will see. No one will see. Nobody has to know. All right? We can keep this between us. We can keep this on the down low, you guys. You got a new job, Faceless Ace. What are you doing? Maybe it's something you can't talk about. If it's something you can't talk about, don't talk about it. If it's something you can talk about, let us know. We love hearing about people making moves, taking pursuits, improving their station. I thought this job was going to be good for us, but it's just such a bummer. Just the nature of the work. And I talked about this last time as well. I don't think we're going to be super jazzed to ever be working for anyone, is the problem. Spaceman's kind of a self-motivated kind of guy. We got to find a way to make that work for us. But apart from all that stuff, the bad job, the depressing feelings, it's kind of been a good summer so far. Kind of a consequential summer. Lots of cool stuff happening with people that we know. We got events that we're going to be going to later in the year or later in the summer. Fan Expo's coming up. Next weekend's going to be Canada Day, or close to Canada. Actually, technically, next Tuesday is going to be Canada Day. Now, let's not forget that Spaceman is a Space Canadian. So I'm not sure if we're going to be streaming on Tuesday or not next week. We will see. We shall see. I'm going to have the day off, so we'll see. We'll see. It's a national holiday. And then, if you're an American, which most of our viewers are, then I guess that technically means 4th of July falls on a Friday? Yeah, on a Friday this year. You'll get a cool long weekend, you guys. Wish we did that. I wish Canada Day would just be like the first Friday or the first Monday in July. Then we could always have a long weekend. Wouldn't that be a better way to do it? Wouldn't that be a better way to plan things? We don't have to celebrate on the actual day, right? Why give everybody a day off on the Tuesday when we could all be having a long weekend? Unless you work in service or at the bank or like anywhere where you're essential, or a postman, or I don't know who else doesn't get the day off. But anywho, woo, 4th of July, I get to blow stuff up and drink cheap beer. What's your favorite kind of fireworks, you guys? We were actually talking about this last week too. I just dropped a bunch of money on fireworks for the Canada Day that's coming up. What's you guys' favorite kind of fireworks? We had some people talking about that last week. I don't think either of you guys were here for that. Let us know. Or have a 3-day weekend. You know what? Why not just have 3-day weekends in general? Witherling's over here spitting knowledge, spouting wisdom for the people. And frankly, I think it's time that we listen to our cosmic squids more often. Get that value pack and vibe. Yeah, just, we're talking sparklers. We're talking little rockets. We're talking 1 or 2 things that actually blow up and make a big show. That's decent. A little party platter for your eyes, for your eyeballs. Wizard duels, Witherling, that's what I'm talking about. You get some safety goggles on, you get out there and you start singeing some friends. That's what it's about. Pew! That's fancy living right there. What more could you want? What more could you ask for? Aeon Omnisaya, how are you doing? Nice to see ya. Nice. You got sensitive ears, so the quiet ones are always nice, like sparklers and candles? Nice. I get that. Like, I kind of feel bad when we're doing fireworks and stuff like that, because, like, there's birds and, like, varmints and other wild critters that are out there just, going through it, not knowing what's happening. I feel bad about that. But at the same time, like, any alternative has just kind of sucked. Like, if you've ever been to one of those, like, drone shows, it's just not the same. It's just not the same at all. Especially if they're super slow. Apologies to the neighbor's cat? Exactly. LED Christmas lights, exactly. I've seen better showmanship on, like, actual people's Christmas light displays than some of that stuff. The only time it ever looks cool is when you see those videos and they've, like, sped it up by 20 times or something, so it looks like stuff's moving around and being cool. Apologies to the neighbor's cat, though. Like, growing up, the Vector Space fam, we had a family dog who was not very good with fireworks, unfortunately. And we used to always put him in, like, a little t-shirt to make him feel secure. Give him a little hug. Let him cuddle with us when explosions were going off. He was a gentle, sweet little dog. I got the best combo of being sensitive to loud noises, but also being hard of hearing. Well, hold on. I think one of those might have fed into the other from the sounds of it. Maybe there's a connection here. Maybe one thing leads to the other. I think I got pretty good hearing. I do play it a little dangerous, though. I'll be sticking stuff in my ears all the time. Just to clean stuff out. Careless abandon. I know you're not supposed to do that. And one time I'm pretty sure I almost accidentally ruptured something. There was like a couple days where I was Q-tipping and just all of a sudden there was this pop and then I could not hear out of my one ear for like at least a day. And I feel like they're back to normal now. Like if I snap my fingers on either side of my head, I'm pretty sure it all sounds the same now. But for a moment there, I was a little concerned. Take good care of your ears, you guys. Occupational Health and Safety Spaceman says, anything over 85 decibels, start wearing hearing protection. Keep your ears safe. They don't grow back. There's that one guy who went viral years ago for his Christmas light show on his. I feel like there's any year. It's like it's an arms race. It's an absolute arms race. And Americans are the worst at it. By which I mean they're the best at it. They are. Oh, we got a link here. Hold on. Maybe we can watch this on the screen, on the stream. Let me just pop this bad boy open. I'm gonna preview this. Make sure it's not something insidious. Not that we don't trust you, Eon. Okay, let me see here. We're gonna pop this up. I think we can put this on The tablet. Can we pull up the tablet? We can pull up the tablet. Spaceman, get out of the way. Make some room. There we go. Okay, tablet. Now just gotta make sure this is gonna capture the right screen. Let's see here. Yeah, there we go. Okay, let's watch a video. Let's watch a video that Eon sent in. Ooh. So it's coordinated. Fun. This isn't even like a fancy house. I'm always seeing like big estates that'll do this sort of stuff. You know what though? Like, take this same sort of concept and apply it to like the drone shows. You know, forget about stuff that's like dancing around in the air. Just have them pre-positioned, ready to go, light them up. Sound and fury, my guy. When you were in front of the screen, it looked like it said input soup. A lot of what we show here on the show is input soup, when you think about it. You know you're good when the musicians whose music you use turned it into their official music video. Oh, that's cool. See, this is it's time like this. We need the air guitar emote. We need the little Rock Band controller asset. Do 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 do. See, this is how we're gonna decorate the station next year. Just go all out. But this has to be somewhere in America, I'm sure of it. Nobody gets this involved. And it's probably some, like, either stage tech or, like, lighting engineer or something like that. I don't think this is some off-the-shelf getup, you know? That is cool. I feel like it's a little... I feel like we get it. I want to see how it ends. Show us a big blowout. Very cool, man. Very cool. Thanks for sharing that. Back to our input soup. Zoop. There we go. Now I gotta remember what we were talking about. All right, sensitivities, explosions. Because it is that time of year, of course. Speaking of ear sensitivities, though, so you know what I was... Because we brought it up last week as like, ooh, maybe we should try doing this sort of thing. Because everybody says, oh, Spaceman, you got a nice voice, whatever. And I'm like, psh, shaw. Because I'm not above a compliment. But, you know, I've always had a hard time, you know, believing any of that stuff, really. But one of the things we were considering was the concept of this ASMR stuff. So I had to look up what that even meant, first of all. And all I can remember is something meridian response. It stands for Autonomous Sensory Meridian Response. That's what it stands for. A tingling sensation that begins on the scalp and moves down the back of the neck and upper spine. A pleasant form of paresthesia. And so I tried looking up like some other streamers that do this sort of thing. Because again, I wasn't 100% sure what it is. It's just like weird close talking to the microphone, or like little noises next to the mic and stuff like that. Some of them actually have like very specific like dual pickup mics that are supposed to simulate like position of each ear, that sort of thing. So you get this interesting like surround sound effect. But I don't know if that's really something that we want to do or not. It's really cool when you get it right. Yeah, it's gotta be hard to get it right. Because, you know, like, what would it even be like? We cut out the station music, right? We'd probably have to, hold on, let's go into the filters. We'll turn off any of our noise gates or noise suppression. There we go. Which would mean that now we're picking up just about anything. We could probably even move the pop filter out of the way. And then we can get real up close to the mic like this. And I mean, I can see those levels on the OBS just jumping, just picking up everything in the room, everything that's coming through. But then what do? You're just close talking next to the mic. And if you go to one side, does it come through differently? If you sort of wrap around the side, because we got a little condenser mic here. We don't have anything that's too fancy, too special, nothing like that. I'd have to listen back to it, you know? I'll give it a listen after the show. Try to figure out what's going on here. Do a little experimenting, that sort of thing. The other thing people are always saying is, oh, Spaceman, we could listen to you, you know, read anything, that sort of thing. We've never tried to do any, like, audio books or anything like that. It might be an interesting thing to do. Or not audiobooks. We find some saucy fan fiction or something like that. That'd be good for a stream. That'd be good for a laugh. There's a really interesting video on how a disabled gamer actually uses that sound design from FF Online to play. FF Online, Final Fantasy Online? FF? What does FF stand for? Also, I am going to put my filters back on. Bip, bop, bam. There we go. And let's put the filter back in place, my pop filter. There we go. Now that's some good old-fashioned Spaceman coming through. I can talk properly again. So he uses sound design. Use the directional audio to help them navigate and hear cues from people. That's very cool. I feel like I can't think of a game that doesn't, especially a game in 3D space, that doesn't have that sort of, how you say, like where directional audio isn't a thing. But to have it so precise, to have it, I really love it when I see like, and it's usually like tech demos and stuff like that, that take into account like sound bouncing off of walls and in different acoustic environments, so you get different echoes and things like that. Does Final Fantasy take that sort of thing into account? Because that'd be really cool. That's what gets me jazzed, man. That's what gets me hyped up. VR games are the most obvious use for directional audio, but horror games have been doing that before VR. Well, anything that relies on atmosphere, right? So of course you'd expect horror to be on their A game when it comes to something like that. You want them to feel pressure, you want them to feel fear, you want them to feel anxiety, you want them to feel, like I said, the atmosphere of it all. I can't remember the last time we did a horror game here on the show. It might have been never. Can you guys think of any good horror games that might be fun to do? couldn't fathom working on a video game. That sounds too difficult. Oh, well, video games, you know, it's a medium unto itself, right? But yeah, big 3D projects like that, I probably couldn't handle something like that either. I like my little 2D games. I like my little side scrollers and platformers and, you know, top down isometric sort of games as well. Give me some pixel graphics any day, man. I'm still about it. You know, you gotta start somewhere. It's never too late to just make a game as though you were designing it for, like, a Game Boy Advance. You know? Start somewhere. Don't feel like you've gotta be, you know, leveraging every new piece of tech, you know? Kick it old school once in a while. How do you think we got here? I'm sorry, is it still 2004? Is Flash still a thing? No. But we're still rocking it like it is. Look Outside is sick. Look Outside. Let's look up Look Outside. Look Outside game. Look Outside. A 2025 survival horror role-playing video game. So this is brand new. Strange phenomenons. We love strange phenomenons. The game is a Game Jam submission. We love these little indie titles. I'm going to school for creative writing, so I'll probably end up on a game team at one point, but that's in the future. You know what? I always champion, and you know what? It just came up as I was looking at this Look Outside game. I always champion, like, game jams and, like, little projects, especially ones where you know you have a defined timeline, where you've got, like, a deadline. I feel like deadlines have produced easily my best work in my life. Because you're forced to just accept that there's going to be compromise, that there's going to be finality to it. I've had so many projects over the years that never got finished because there was no deadline, no motivating factor, no urgency, right? I could just, keep reiterating over and over, and I've had such a problem with, like, trying to hit, like, a perfectionism in my life. And you can't do that, you know? You can't do that. Nobody's perfect. No project is perfect. All art is abandoned, you know? Art is an orphan. You gotta give it up for it to be completed, you know? It's gotta come to an end. Just like us, you know? Death completes man, as it were. The same is applied, to your product, to your artwork. TBH, it's still hard for me to even get started without a deadline. I get that. That's why I think game jams are so rad. Eon saying, I'm very solidly visual novel only because otherwise the sheer number of skills I've had to learn to make a video game would be insane on my own. It's such a multifaceted skill set. I was gonna say hobby, but no, skill set is more like it. You're like you become like a Swiss Army person. Yeah, we need deadlines too. There's a lot that Spaceman needs in terms of, getting us motivated to get more things done. When it comes to finding a new job, when it comes to finding a new station. I definitely feel that as well. Ghost, how you doing? Allô! Or in French, allô! We're allowed to speak French here. They made us take it for years and years. Ghost, how are you doing on this fine Tuesday afternoon in June? The finest the most finalist Tuesday afternoon in June of this year. How are we doing? We're doing all right. We're getting a little introspective tonight. We're chit-chatting. You're sick? Oh, that's rough. What'd you do? How come? What is the matter with you, Ghost? How could you do this to yourself? Faceless. I should probably just dial in on my stuff and set deadlines for rough drafts at least. Yeah. I find that I work best when it's an external deadline. Like if I set a deadline for myself, then I will go past it, you know? And I'll justify it. I'll be like, but if I gave myself another week, we just need a little more time. And eventually that just keeps going and going and going until, you stop working on it entirely. That's been my experience. I don't recommend it. I missed the con crud with Palm and Adora, but got sick from my boss yesterday. Oh no! Hey, how was Offkai? Ghost, you actually got to go see everybody. Did you give Palm and Adora a great big hug for me? I've never been to Offkai. I don't know if I'm ever gonna go to Offkai. I'm not sure I get it, if I'm honest. You did? Awesome. Thank you, Ghost. I'm glad you had a good time. I'm glad you only got sick after the fact. What'd you get up to? What even goes on at Offkai? It was crazy. I met so many people. I feel like that's what it's mostly like. But what is the actual convention about? Or is it just, a large hub where people know that other people are going, and then they just hang out? Because that hardly seems like it needs a convention center. Going to your first con later this year? Nice, Ace. Which convention is that? Where are you going? You gonna have some fun? Is it a gaming convention? Is it an anime convention? Is it like a Comic-Con, sort of cast a wide net of all sorts of things convention? Sci-fi, horror, that sort of thing? Merch, panels, concerts. Oh, concerts, that's cool. And what is... Ghost, you're gonna have to explain it. I was just about to ask that. Is it all VTuber stuff? Or is it all streamer stuff? I was never 100% clear, and I got to admit, I never really looked it up. So it's strictly VTuber stuff. Well, I kind of feel like we'd fit in then. Kinda. We just have to justify taking a huge trip to see people that, we already talk to over the internet and occasionally run into here anyways. So you're going to Animate Orlando. One of my friends is in the artist alley. Nice, nice. I had a friend who was doing... Actually, you know what? Now that I think about it, I had 2 friends. No, shoot, I had 3 friends. Sorry, I had 7 friends who had spots in artist alleys or industry booths at Anime North that we went to this year. And that's why I spent so much money on stuff. Usually I don't spend anything on merch, on gear or whatever. But this year is all oh, well, I know people who are running booths. I gotta buy something. And so I bought everything. I bought everything that I could. Everything I could justify. You gotta support the homies. You gotta support local independent VTuber. So I'm taking him out to dinner one day and decided I'll hang out at the con just for the experience of my first con. That is a good plan. That sounds like you're gonna have lots of fun. Gotta support them homies. I learned I don't have a clue who 90% of VTubers are. Listen. Nobody does. Nobody does. There's more springing up every day, every single day. You can't keep track of them all. And as fast as they spring up, there's people who, they dip, It was funny when I was tagging along with Palm and Adora, we would stop and start talking to someone. I looked down and realized it was me. Miki's got a pretty recognizable voice, I feel like. Is Miki? I've never met Miki in person though. Is Miki very small? When you said you look down. Stuff like that happened a lot. I'm sure it does. And like, there's so many big VTubers that I don't know as well. To the point that I don't even feel bad about it. I just like know that, well, that's how it is. Yeah, oh, I'm sorry, you've got 20, 30,000 viewers or something like that, and I've never heard of you. That's completely normal. Completely normal. I can hardly keep track of anyone. I hardly keep track of anyone beyond like the first couple dozen people I met as a streamer. My sort of cohort that we all started out around the same time. So including like Palm, including, you know, Alpine and the Nova Swarm and Neff from the specials and all that. And that's enough. Like, that's enough to keep track of. And that's sort of expanded. Like, we've had Adora and we've had Miki and we've had Maven in the skits and things like that. But very rarely do we like meet anyone new and large, you know? Heard rumors of her height. They are true, but her voice more than makes up for it. Yeah, Miki's got an odd sort of voice. Not a bad odd. Just there's a definite accent to it that's a little unusual. I don't know if that's an affectation or if that's just how she naturally talks. But that is cool that you got to have a good time with good folks. And where was it this year? It's San Francisco? It's California? Something like that? Is it the same place every year? Because if it's the same place every year, I could maybe prep for something like that. I think it's, what is it? It's TwitchCon that changes locations every year, right? That just seems like a hassle. Oh, San Jose. My bad. San Jose. A little south of San Fran. Got you. Got you. Maybe we'll make that happen one of these years. What I'm really gunning for right now is Fan Expo, and I want to get the Vector Spaceman IRL outfit done by the time of Fan Expo. So we've got just about 2 months to get that done. Which means anytime that I'm not streaming right now, it's got to be modeling the helmet so we can get the helmet printed, so we can get the helmet painted. And then all the other incidentals, the jackets, the belts, the badges, stuff like that. My little wobbly headset, my big zipper, you know, my little cream turtleneck. Make it all look nice. So that we can show out at the summertime show. Might actually see a picture of Spaceman in the flesh for once. Wow. Wouldn't that be wild? Because I really liked, I don't know if you saw her there, Big Nose Bug, or whatever her name is, in the, in like the mascot outfit of her character. I thought that was really, really cool. Really cool way to sort of mingle around. I'm pretty sure that's who I'm thinking of. Big Nose, yeah, Big Nose Bug. Who also just has a great VTuber model, if I don't, if I might say so. Very Western cartoony, wouldn't you know? Surprise, you know, that's what we're into. It's meta because if I recall correctly, the character is also just wearing a mascot outfit. Yeah, so they've got a little toggle of their model, which is like taking the headpiece off. Yeah, I thought that was super cool. The only problem is we might have to, you know, real Vector Spaceman might be scaled a little differently than digital Vector Spaceman. We can't really avoid, you know, some stretching, unfortunately. Listen, if we could just be this little, like, 4 foot tall dude with a stupidly large head. Think of how much more room I'd have for activities if I could just be a little guy. Alas. Alas, the world just wasn't made for us. Headset shopping would be a hassle, though? I guess so. That's true. Maybe that's what the helmet's for. Just for proper spacing of the head. Just, yeah. Slap two halves of some headphones on either side. So this look outside game looks kind of cool. I like the graphics. I like the pixel graphics. We'll take that under consideration. Because we have not done any horror stuff on the show before. It might be something to look into. As long as we're looking for, new things to do on the program. But speaking of new stuff to do on the program, you guys. Oh, I think you should do a space sci-fi horror game. And those exist, right? Like, we've never done Dead Space, or we've never done Alien Isolation. We've never done that. In truth, we don't really play a lot of, like, single-player video games. Growing up, it was like, we'd play stuff like, Halo and Mario Kart and Smash Bros. And like anything that had a multiplayer, like a strong multiplayer component to it. Because we play it, with the space fam, with our space buddies. And that's probably why we've never played a whole lot of horror stuff, is because that's really just single player stuff for the most of it. Because as soon as you start adding multiplayer into it, then you start joking, you start commiserating, you lose some of that element, that anxiety. It cuts through. Laughter is a real buzzkill for the horror genre, There's a multiplayer horror game based on the thing. Now that sounds, wait, isn't that just, hold on. Isn't that just Among Us, now that I think about it? Isn't that effectively just a cartoony version of The Thing? But I like an actual, you're talking like an actual, like licensed The Thing multiplayer horror game. That sounds kind of cool. That is as far as, I don't even know if I'd call that a horror movie, but as far as like suspense films, like that's a really good one. Oh, not licensed, but the inspiration is blatant? Okay, we like that too. We like when we sort of dance around that sort of thing. So the alien's an NPC until it kills someone. Okay, and then that person takes over. Presumably. I'm just making guesses here. No, that sounds cool. That sounds cool too. Summertimes tend to be, slower for streaming. It's hard to, justify being like, oh, we got to do lots of streams when the weather's so nice out, when it's nice and sunny out, when I could be, doing stuff. But we're going to keep up at least once a week. Not only because, it's good for engagement or whatever, but because we genuinely like it. Like, people talk about, like, parasocialism and what have you when it comes to, like, viewers and streamers and stuff like that. Never forget that streamers are, we get just as much enjoyment out of chit-chatting with people in the chat, people who tune in, as anybody does from watching us. It's hard to believe that anybody enjoys watching us, It's hard to believe anybody actually derives enjoyment from tuning in to listen to a little orange spaceman, ramble on about stuff. What's far more likely is that little orange guy really likes having you guys here and getting to chit chat with you guys every Tuesday or every Saturday or what have you. So thanks for being here, cadets. You know we appreciate it. That might be all the positivity we had in the tank. Well, we do appreciate your streams. It's hard to believe. It's hard to believe. Like, what are we doing here? Nothing unusual, save for like the skits and specials, which it still blows my mind that nobody else is really doing that. At the same time, it kind of makes sense because it is an incredible amount of effort to actually get done. So maybe everybody else is just smarter than us. They're like, Spaceman, we're not even going to try to do something like that because that's stupid. It's called Nuclear Nightmare. Nice, I'm gonna look that one up too. Nuclear Nightmare. Silly skits, playing games, doing art seems good to me. I mean, when you break it down like that. Oh my god, this Nuclear Nightmare, like the splash art is like cribbed right from the thing as well. That's just straight up, yeah, that's the thing. It's Antarctica or someplace cold. There's an alien. I'm gonna give that a look. And it's only $9. 9 Canadian dollars. That's like nothing in American bucks. That might be worth investing in, especially if we could get a bunch of other folks to play with us. Yeah, if there's one thing I keep telling myself though, it's that, here's the thing, I love those long form, like 30, 40 minute specials that we do. And you know who else loves those big specials that we do? VTubers. VTubers love Vector Spaceman and the Vector Spaceman show. But you know who doesn't? People who enjoy watching VTubers don't care about the Spaceman show at all. So we really only get props from, you know, our contemporaries. The shorter stuff that we do though, like the skits, the ones that are like 5 minutes or less, those do way better. Even though they're not my favorites, they do way better in terms of engagement because you can like watch them. They're like a little, you know, traditional animated skit. People understand them. I know that Pom's mom and like Neff's parents, they've watched them as well. People can comprehend those, the shorter ones. They're digestible. So I always keep telling myself we gotta do more of those. What's good, Rig? Big Rig up in the chat. How are you doing, my friendo? Rig, I made a comic about you today. I know you saw it. I hope you enjoyed. Unfortunately, the average attention span is getting smaller and smaller. Smaller and smaller. This is the problem. And you'd think we'd appreciate small things here at the station. And yet, I've got this real issue when it comes to like what we do here, streaming and stuff like that, because I always worry about like parasocialism as a concept, or like streaming in general. I don't 100% get streaming. I get what we do here, and I get why somebody might like what we do. But then, as soon as there's like money involved or anything like that, it always makes me feel gross. It always makes me feel weird. So I've got a real hard time trying to like make something for the purpose of engagement or make something for the purpose of, oh, it's gonna bring in more viewers or something like that, you know? Rigson, I saw, got a laugh. Hit me with a Legally Blonde flashback from a movie night. Oh, go make that soup, Ghost. Go and make that soup. That's one thing that's scaring me from becoming an author, to be honest. Same sort of thing, right? It's like you want to be making your art for the purpose of it being the best it can be, being the best that you could make it, without trying to appeal, you know, to something. That's why for the longest time, you know, I never told any of my close friends what I was doing here on the internet, you know? Now there's like two. I've told two people what we're doing here. You guys all know, of course. And some streamers that, you know, I've met in real life, they know what I'm doing, of course. But like my closest personal friends even don't even know what we're doing here on the internet every Tuesday at 8 p.m. Eastern, live at Harbor Station. Because I've always felt like, all right, well, if it's going to be good, if it's going to be successful, if it's going to be something that people want to watch, it's got to be something that is discovered by other people organically, right? It's not something that I should be like promoting to anyone that I know. Which I'm sure sounds silly a little bit, but I don't know, I've never been able to escape that sort of feeling. Also, how you doing, Historia? Nice to see ya. Are you having a nice evening? Did you have a nice weekend? It's good to see you again. Welcome back. I don't want to have to make a book talk romantasy smut. I just want to write an epic fantasy that nobody will read because it's too long. Exactly. But you want it to be the best epic fantasy that you could write, and you know it's the best, and you're so proud of it, right? Oh, you work Sunday? Oh man, the heat wave do suck. Listen, the block is hot. This whole continent is feeling it right now. This whole hemisphere even. They're feeling it over in the UK too, where they were never clever enough to invent air conditioning. How did they conquer half the world? It boggles the mind. People read Brandon Sanderson, G.R.R. Martin, etc. This is true. Yeah, what's his series called? Like the Stormlight Archives or Chronicles or something like that? I've seen some of those books. I've never looked inside them for fear that I might become trapped. But those are tomes. Those are dense. Like you shouldn't, it should be a hazard to print anything that thick. Ordered some food for yourself, even though you ate dinner and playing some Broken Arrow. Nice, nice. Thanks for keeping Spaceman on in the background. You know we appreciate it. That is true. That is true. Like at a point, like I could not write anything that long on purpose. Which means that the man must feel that it is essential to whatever story he's crafting, you know? You know, it's a big book when you could brain a man by accident. Yeah. Talk about if you drop this off of a tall building. What sort of criminal charge would you get afterwards? And if it's anywhere approaching manslaughter, then you gotta reconsider what you're doing as a publisher. You know? You're doing a disservice to the public at that point. But I've got friends who rave about Sanderson's books. I've got a guy, I've got a friend who named his dog after one of the characters from that book. Like, huge fans. It's like, I don't know if I'd have the time in my life anymore. Maybe when I was like a teenager, I could have got into it. I don't know if I'd have the time to get into that whole series. How do you even find the time to write something like that? But, I mean, that's the man's job, so he is prolific. School mainly has us writing flash fiction, 1,000 words or less stories, so I'm excited to set myself free with a series of head-sized books. A series of brain-sized books. Listen, I'm gonna be there to gobble it up, see what you can create. We'll be supporting you. I know at least one guy who dropped a special edition, heavy, fancy, leather-bound of Sanderson, and his toe is still wonky. No. Via audio. You know what's weird is like I could never get into audiobooks. I get too distracted. I can't be doing anything if I'm, listening to something. I'm not an audio learner or whatever you might say. Like if I'm listening to like a YouTube video just in my headphones while I'm like cooking or cleaning or something like that, like I'll still lose track of what's going on. I gotta be focused. Hyper focused. I don't know if we've got, some undiagnosed attention span issue or something like that. I think it's a little late in the game to be pursuing something like that, but it's a possibility, I suppose. Not everyone's cup of tea. Yeah. For me, it's all about the visuals. You show me something, I'm gonna know how to do it. I'm gonna ask why we're doing it. That's another thing. Hate doing stuff just because, that's how it's done. I will poke into every single detail about why something's being done the way that it is, and by golly, I'm gonna understand it. And then I'm never gonna forget. Spaceman's got an incredible memory. Oh, you've been streaming again too, Historia. Nice. What you been streaming lately? You know what's wild? We haven't done any game stuff for like 2 whole weeks now. We've just been chit-chatting, having a good time. Big wow, right, Kieran? Big frickin' wow. How many points, how many cadet credits have you got left, Kieran? Have you been here for a half hour just waiting for that to tick over to 240 so you could wow me? 128, okay. Well, what can you get for 128? What can you buy for 128? You could buy a hydrate. You could buy a stretch. Can't get a clap yet, though. Can't get a clap or a cheer. I know that's what you're aiming for. Oh, you was reading. What were you reading, Karen? We were just talking about books. We were just talking about the joy of reading. This story, you've been doing chill games like Stardew and Roadcraft. Roadcraft. Never heard of that. With the occasional not-so-chill game like Division 2 and Broken Arrow. Very cool. I was reading Dungeon Crawler Carl. Dungeon Crawler Carl? First of all, that sounds rad. Let's look it up. Dungeon Crawler Carl. Well, that auto-completed pretty quick. It's a science fiction and fantasy RPG book series. It was initially self-published until the first 6 books were acquired in 2024. This series follows Carl, a Coast Guard veteran, and Princess Donut, his ex-girlfriend's cat, as they are forced to participate in a deadly intergalactic game show where Earth is transformed into a massive dungeon crawl. Get it? Dungeon crawl. Carl. Dungeon Carl. It's rad. It sounds rad. It looks rad. I see a goblin on the front of the book with like what looks like some sort of Mad Max style like steamroller. This is a good recommendation, Kieran. Trying to think of the last book I read. It was some sci-fi diddly-do from back in the day. The Forever War or one of those other... Shoot, it had something to do with time dilation. Love Mad Max? Who doesn't love Mad Max? Actually, you know what? I do know somebody who doesn't love Mad Max. Roadcraft is a new game from Saber from the makers of SnowRun. Ah. I know somebody who doesn't love Mad Max. It was one of my very good friends' former girlfriend, and guess what? They broke up, and do you know why? I think it's because she didn't like Mad Max. We went to see Fury Road, and she was not having a good time, and how do you stay with somebody after that, you know? How can you even trust somebody who's got such perilous taste? Former girlfriend for a good reason, absolutely right. She's not on the team, all right? Everybody at the station, no, we don't jive with her, all right? You should read The Scarlet Pimpernel. It's my favorite book, so I'm incredibly biased. Isn't that a very old novel? Let me look this up. Scarlet Pimpernel. Historical fiction, published in 1905. That is pretty old. And that's your favorite novel? Must be pretty good. Set during the Reign of Terror. French revolutionaries. Following the start of the French Revolution, title a hero and protagonist, a chivalrous Englishman who rescues aristocrats before they are sent to the guillotine. Wait a minute. So he's like saving rich folks from the guillotine? From the people's razor? What's this about? Where do we stand, Space Cadets? Are we pro-guillotine? Or are we pro-chivalrous Englishman? It sounds very romantic, though. I'll give that a look-see, too. Okay, Kern's saying, the dedicated page says, this version of Dungeon Crawler Carl is dedicated to the star of one of the greatest, most inspiring, most amazing survival stories of our time. Fiona the Hippo. Yes, I am dedicating this book to a god-dang hippopotamus. Sorry, Mom. You know, when you make it, you can put whatever you want in your little dedication page. Hey there, Teeny, how are you doing? You guys, if you don't know Teeny, he's my Swedish Spartan friend. Check this out, we're gonna do a shout out because we love using commands. TNS, Teeny. Teeny just had a Model 2.0 debut back on Saturday while we were doing our karaoke stream. And we were supposed to participate, but we got food poisoning. We got food poisoning and we were coming off of 3 hours of sleep, and frankly, it wasn't gonna happen. But Teeny just got his second model done. It's so cool looking. It's such an improvement over the last one. Same, how do I say? Same, like, modeler and rigger, right? Like it was Mackenzie who did the work, if I'm not mistaken. Thank you so much, buddy. That's right. I'm glad you're feeling better. I'm feeling much better. We just needed a nice weekend. We basically slept through the whole Sunday. So we're all good now. We're all good. Everything's Gucci. But you guys can check out Teeny on Teeny's channel. Teeny does cool stuff. Oh, the art design was made by my artist named Drew. Okay. Did Mackenzie do the rigging then? Okay, Mech did the art and rigging for 2.0. Gotcha. See, we recognize work. We recognize style. It was a super cool show. I love getting you see show off all the different features. Like that laser is rad, first of all. And I love the little transformation that you do with like the drop shield. Drew drew it? Yes, Drew drew. Drew draws, and Drew drew it. Can you imagine? Heck yeah, so glad you love it. I do love it. One of these days, because we've been knowing Teeny for like at least 2 years now, I feel like. One of these days we're actually gonna get Teeny on the show. we're gonna actually finally do something. Been in the works for almost a year with everything? At least, yep. At least. I'm trying to think, because we've been doing this almost 4 years now. It'll be 4 years this November. And I know we've known Teeny for most of that, so it's got to have been at least 2 years, maybe more. I can't 100% remember when Teeny debuted. It might have been closer than I thought to when we got started. You know what's really cool though is like most of the people that got started at the same time as us like are still around and are still hanging out with us. Be honored to be on to show? Absolutely. Likewise. Like we're still kicking it with Monayu, with Koryojo, with the Nova Swarm, with Dragon and Neff, you know? With Palm, she was there at the start too. Jammy, when Jammy does stream, you know. We just got really, really lucky to have a super cool cohort. Like that's what I was talking about earlier when Ghost was talking about being at Offkai and how like there's so many people you don't recognize, they just come and go. Like I feel we got really lucky that most of the people that we started with and hung around with and got to know have stuck with it. There have been some changes here and there, you know, rebrandings and new designs and what have you. But for the most part, everybody's stuck with it. Everybody stayed with it. And I feel like I definitely know that a lot of people have, you know, helped me stick with it over the years. Maybe we've been an inspiration to others as well. Who knows? Who knows? There's only one Spaceman for me, and it's Vector_Spaceman. Absolutely. Listen. You can get 100% of your daily recommended dose of Vector Spaceman just by tuning into the Vector Spaceman show. 4 out of 5 dentists recommend. Side effects may include a proclivity for watching the Vector Spaceman show. It's physically addicting. Nothing we can do about it. Something you just gotta struggle with. You gotta learn to live with it in your heart. Alright guys, I got some good news and some bad news. The bad news is, Mr. Jeff Bezos requires us to run ads every now and then. Which means that we're gonna take a little 2-minute break. Take this time to yourselves. Go get a drink. Go to the washroom. Do something productive. Journal or something, you know? Write a letter to a relative you haven't talked to in a while. But you love Twitch Turbo? I love Twitch Turbo because that means I get to just chit chat with you for a couple minutes. Thanks for them bits, Teeny. Thank you so much. Once we come back from the ad, I think we're gonna try a little game demo. I wasn't sure what we were gonna get up to tonight. I'm glad that we got time to talk, that we got time to chat, and we're gonna continue to chit chat with the cadets. But there is also this little game demo that I downloaded the other day that I want to try out. Usually I hate doing game streams, but this one actually seems kind of cool. It's like everything that I like. So we're going to give that a shot. I'll explain what it is once we come back. So 2-minute warning, cadets. The Vector Spaceman show returns right after this. And hey, if you got that Twitch Turbo, or if you're just lucky, you get to chill with me for a couple minutes. The Vector Spaceman show returns after these curated and targeted messages. Let me know what they're trying to sell you. You know? Jot it down. Tell me about it when we come back. The Vector Spaceman show returns right after this. There we go. Ads on the move. Let's take a drink. Let's take a drink. Let's take a stretch. Ah, big gratuitous knuckle cracks. Thanks again for them bits, Teeny. You know you don't have to do that. And this is why I always feel weird about like the money side of stuff, you know? We didn't get into this for subscribers like Ghost. We didn't get into this for bit masters like Teeny. We got into this to be a little orange spaceman on the internet, just chatting away on our little digital radio station, as it were. What more could we have asked for? What more could we have wanted? It's just cool getting to... It's just... I feel like we don't talk about that enough. Like, it's just cool to get to chill with folks like you on the regular, you know? I still wanted to support regardless. You're a good Spartan, Beanie. You're a good bud. You're a good space cadet. Of course. Much love right back. Well, thank you, Teeny. Thank you so much. Much love, much love. Hey, looks like we're back from ads. We survived. Typing's hard, you know. English, it is what it is. Do they have some... Because I know you're Swedish, Teeny. Do they have, like, some sort of goofy European keyboard that you guys use? That's different from the American ones? Like, I was surprised that, Quebec has different keyboards. Like, we've got French-Canadian keyboards that I didn't know about. Yeah, you're gonna send me a picture? Okay. I don't see written Swedish a lot. Do you guys have lots of umlauts and, like, weird punctuation and stuff like that? Because I know it's a Nordic language, but specifically what it looks like, I don't see it a whole lot. 3 extra letters. 3 whole letters? Wait, like actual letter? Okay, so with accents. So the O with the umlaut, the A with the umlaut, and then the A with... I don't even know what that little circle on top is called. That's cool, though. I thought you meant like whole new letters with like feathers and wheels and stuff. Sent in Discord? Okay, I'll take a look. I'll take a gander. Okay, that doesn't look too different. But it's got 2 different A's. It's got 3 different A's. You've got... so, okay. Why wouldn't you just have... I guess it must be common enough that you just need a whole extra key for that letter. Instead of just doing like Shift A or something like that, right? Karen, I'm convinced Swedish is just gibberish. Well, that's because, you know, who are the most famous Swedes that we know? It's the members of ABBA, which, you know, all speak English anyways. Or it's the Swedish Chef from the Muppets, who, you know, has his own perfect language. Big true, big true. NPAE have their own keys. You got some funky hardware, Teeny, I will tell you that. Seems like they invented that keyboard before they realized they were gonna have to deal with the rest of the world eventually. But if it works for you guys, it works for you guys. Like, I remember I've got like a Spanish setting on my keyboard. So if I want to put like accented, like rising accents over like vowels and stuff like that, all I have to do is just hit like apostrophe and then that letter. So it's real easy. I don't have to have any extra keys or nothing like that. Not fully wrong. And then they're just like, you know what? We're gonna stick with it. It works for us. Forget the rest of the world. We're gonna create our own endemic keyboard industry, and we're gonna keep, you know, at least 36 specific engineers employed for the rest of their lives, making sure everything works. And by golly, that's technology for you. All right, so check this out, you guys. We got games on the horizon. We got game. So I saw somebody post a link to this the other day. It was like, oh, shoot. Why is my desktop still making noise? I'm going to show you guys the Steam page. Here, let me pull up the tablet. Here we go. Spaceman, out of the way. There we go. Little Spartan needs some rest. See you later, Fred. See you later, Teeny. Thanks for tuning in. Hope we get to see you again real soon. Check a look at this. Take a look at this, you guys. Good light and much love, Teeny. Look at this. This is a game called Painted Peril. It's a game about being a squirrel. Being a magical squirrel. Being a magical squirrel with colors. Being a magical platforming squirrel with colors. And this is like everything up my alley. I love squirrels. I love little indie games like this. And I am colorblind. What more could you ask for? This does look nuts, Rig. I'm not 100% sure how the game even plays, but I like the concept. That's why I downloaded the demo, and that's why I think we're going to give that a shot. The game looks a little jank. Aw, poor squirrel. But I'm down to give it a go. There was another game that we played that was like all color-based as well. I think it was called Hue. And it was it was like a game that we picked up through the Epic Game Store. The whimsy, though, the sheer whimsy. So I say we're colorblind, but you know, it's not bad enough that it goes on like our medical record or anything like that. Thank goodness. Because if they found out that Spaceman was colorblind, they probably wouldn't let me fly planes. Not that I do fly planes. But one day I would like to fly planes. And if they find out that that my eyes are busted, then it's probably a wrap on that. So everybody keep that quiet. Everybody do your best not to rat out old Spaceman. And I'll do my best not to be your pilot. I think that's a fair exchange, don't you? Alright, so let's get this thing running. Let me load this thing up. Let's see how this goes. Well, you know what? I wonder if I should... Secret safe with us? Thank you, Faceless. Rune Wolf, woo! How you doing? Welcome to the program. I'm Vector Spaceman. This is the Vector Spaceman Show. These are our lovely space cadets. We've been chit-chatting tonight. We've been having a good time. We're about to try out a game demo. Actually, I wonder if this game even has a category on Twitch. Let's find out. Can I change category? Can I change category to Painted Peril? But it's got 0 followers, so maybe we'll just leave it as is. Maybe we'll just leave it as just chatting. Doing good, my friend? That's cool. You're cool. Anybody who tunes into the show is mighty cool. But I'm wondering if I should get the gamepad out. Hold on, let me see here. It is a platform R, so I feel like it might benefit from having the twin sticks. Turn this bad boy on and we'll see if it works. Yeah, that's looking like it's working. Okay, that means we're just gonna go ahead and we're gonna put on our gaming hands. There we go. Yeah, nice, right? Here at the Vector Spaceman Show, we are a self-produced virtual streamer. We broadcast every Tuesdays. And sometimes other times. Been a while, Vector. How are you doing and feeling? You know what? I'm not bad. I'm not bad, thank you. It's good to see old folks, old friends. Gamers be gaming up in here. You're absolutely right, Ghost. I'm feeling not terrible. I mean, you know, the past couple of weeks we've been talking about, you know, oh, my job sucks. I don't feel motivated. I don't feel inspired. What's the point? It's summertime. Why am I even working? I should be having a good time. Having a good time all the time, you know? Thankfully, though, we had a pretty good day today. Career notwithstanding. And it's always a pleasure to get to spend time with the Space Cadets. So thankfully, we've got the show to look forward to. All right, let's head on over to the big screen, you guys. I'm going to show you all how to be a colorful squirrel. Check this out. We're going to go, boom, here we are on the big screen. Let me just make sure we've got everything hooked up. Yeah, there we go. Let's do a little audio switch. Cheeky little audio switch. Oh, that's loud. That's better. The Painted Peril demo. Like my job, but I think the benefits just outrank a lot. I get to hang out with puppers and meet unique people and females? Is that what that's trying to say? That's loud, but also beautiful. Indeed. We're a magical, color-coordinated squirrel. What more could I ask for? Let's see what this game's about. We're Sylvia the squirrel. We jump with A. We hold for a higher jump. God, we're killing this already. Oh, families. That makes more sense. That makes more sense. You know, all right. Obviously it's not, but you know what this game like almost reminded me of out the gate? Was Fancy Pants Adventures. Like, I almost got that feeling from it. And I can climb, and I can wall slide, and I can dash. I'm learning so much. And I can swish, and I can swash. And I can go through the door by pressing B, which is an odd choice. I can double jump even. We can dash. We can go through doors. Cast spells. Cast a paint spell using my bottle. Okay, bottles decide the shape of your spells. We got it. We got systems already that we're getting introduced to. Fire a bolt of color that impacts the first target it hits. So we get to decide what to assign that to. Okay, so we had our little splash damage, and now we've got bolts as well. The number of bottles you can carry is limited. So we've got choices. Shoot, was that the whole tutorial? Okay, time for our inciting incident. Well, shoot, what the heck is that? I'm already in love with this squirrel. Oh. Let's see if I'm any good at this. Does it auto-target for me? No, it does not. That is not good, Rig. Rig isn't the, not to misrepresent my understanding of what the Nova Swarm is about these days. But isn't your guys' like all color-based stuff now too? When you guys did your big magical rebrand, it was all very prism-based and what have you, right? True. Too true, though. Alright, I gotta figure out, is this one of those you're not supposed to beat it tutorial fights or something? Because I feel like I'm getting finessed. Yeah. Maybe if I just stay out of their reach. Can I just cheese it? Not that we're trying to cheese it. Oh! Okay. I feel like that was a you're meant to lose sort of situation. Sylvia, no! Sylvia, no! Squirrel. Color bolts. Okay, give me the color bolts. Thank you. Yellow. What? Yellow. Chains through multiple enemies, dealing damage to all and pulling them together. Okay, can I assign that to... I can. Can I assign that to both of them? It looks like it. So different colors do different things as well. Man. I like these little gem villains, though. The little rock goobers. That's a fun enemy type. Is there secrets over there? There's no secrets over there. There's just spikes. There's just danger. No, it's not an oops ghost. It's just a learning experience. For all of us. We climb. Healthy nut. Heal 50 health when picked up. Hey, I've just lost 50 health, so that's exactly what I need. Thanks for the lurk, Runewolf. Thanks for being here. It's so nice to see you again. Oh, we got a little map too. Okay. So what exactly are we trying to reach? That's the question. I got a key. This is a worm. Hello there, my name is Willow Worm. I see that you found yourself stuck in these old caves. Well, that's unfortunate for you. To be able to proceed through the door here above, you would need a key. Well, lucky for you that I found one. I would consider giving it to you, but it took a lot of effort to find it. So I can give it to you if you also give a gift to me. Have you seen these living stones walking around? They contain a weird pigment type that seems to come from outer space. Alright, well now you got me. Magical squirrels and outer space? If you go and collect some of these astral pigments for me, then I will give you the key as a trade of sorts. Oh, you wonder what I need the astral pigments for? Well, that's none of your concern. Okay, worm. Keep your secrets. Ow, I'm getting hurt. And also, how am I supposed to collect this pigment? Ah, blue. Slows the enemy attack and movement, also pushes them away. So now, do I still have blue? I can't tell. I cannot tell. I feel like that's a UI issue. Can't really tell what the pigment stuff is about. Big dash. You have found the key and can unlock the door. Unlocking the door will consume the key. Yeah, so I already got the key, so is that quest just bugged? Because we didn't have to bust up any... Or did I come at that... Was I supposed to talk to the worm beforehand? I think this number in the upper right-hand corner is the pigment, space pigment stuff that the worm was talking about. I see a new color over here. Blue Rim Frost. Buffs blue color with a plus 20%. Okay. So we're getting buffs, we're getting bonuses. Bonuses. Oh my god, how is that not dead? Red. Steal health from enemies and convert it to temporary hit points. Will also pull the enemy toward you slightly. Okie doke. See, now I can tell we've got pigment. So we must have bugged it earlier. Is this the exit? Exit the cave. Okay, we've got pigment, and now we're out of here. The red color steals health from enemies and converts it to temporary hit points. Thanks, game. It's not frozen, is it? Oh, no, I just had to press A for some reason. Dye drops. Summon 5 drops of paint that rain down on enemies. I don't think so. What's up, worm? Lucky for you, I've found a lot of items that seem to have fallen down after the recent earthquake. As we usually say, finders keepers, but feel free to buy them from me using those astral pigments. Okay, so it's a shop. Bubble Blast, Color Bolt. Don't I have that already? I think I already have Color Bolt, but I just spent it. Well, shoot. Can I refund? I cannot. So now I've got 2 Color Bolts. Now I'm going to switch back the color swipe. What are these ones? Flag part. Buff stuff, Stormy Night. Fall leaf, buff orange. We love orange. Alright, how do we get out of this dank old cave? A healing shrine. Also costs. Costs stuff we don't have. We're just gonna take some temporary health from you guys. Don't mind if I do. And I wonder if that pigment actually runs out. I can't see it getting lower. It might just be subtle. But I tell you what, I am getting mad buffs off of this red pigment. Enemies take less damage from spells with the same color as them. Okay, that's fun. Ha! You fool! Oh, I've got you now. Absolutely finessed. Alright, what's this? Spear Brush. Add 3 damage to all spell hits. Can doobie. So these little bonuses are giving me, like, what was the one game? Risk of Rain-esque? You just pick up buffs. They never seem to make much sense, but by golly, you get buffs. Charm of Luck protects the house from flies. 10% chance of what? Blocking an attack. Well, I need that. I need that, then. This rapscallion is being a rascal. So what I've noticed is that they take less damage from stuff that's the same color as them, but I'm not sure if there's like a... Like, you'd think there would be a... like, complementary color system or something like that? Where, like, red doesn't do a lot against red, but it does damage against green or something, you know? Gotta be a wheel? Yeah. Like, I'm thinking... Like, it's either something basic where, like, red beats blue beats yellow or something like that, or it's opposites on the wheel, where you got your complementary colors, maybe tertiary colors play into it. I mean, if you were being clever, that's how you do it, right? If you were being a real gamesman, that's how you might make something like this. Oh, look at this though. Enemies colored to the rainbow color are unstable and will collapse after a few seconds. This deals damage to the enemy and removes their color. If a rainbow colored enemy dies, then it will refill your bottles with some color. So how did we make that happen? We made them all colorful. Take some healthy nut, don't mind if I do. Go down, Sylvia, go down. There we go. Where's our map? Looks like there's more health down here. Healing shrine. Wait a minute. This is where we came from. All right, what are we actually supposed to be doing then? Going up. I feel like I'm not also super clear on what our main objective was for this game. I know it's a demo and all. Is it just to get through dungeons while being a squirrely squirrel? I guess so, because that's something we can do. Are we just here to kill? Now we're on level 2, okay. That screen gave me big Baba Is You vibes? Which one? The little loading screen with the black and the white? Or this one here? With like all the different icons and what have you. We get new enemy types, that's fun. Alright, get rainbowed. Unfortunately, it's not seeming like there's much game to the game so far. We know we gotta go up though. Oh, ranged attacks. How dare. Color bolts. We've got color bolts. Grape shot. Fire 3 bouncing grapes that can hit a single target each. I kind of like this one. I played a few games like that. Yeah, where it's like I love the look of it. I love the concept that we've got going on here. But what are we actually doing? Like, we've invented a cool system. We've invented what might be a decent gameplay loop, if you will. But what are we doing with it? Why am I killing all these? These, how you say, colors. These gems. These folks. Also, we are going to use this healing shrine, thank you. You know, we're going to use it again. Because health is important. You can't slack on your health. I also kind of feel like I can just cheese my way through everything that so far. Like I can just speed run my way through these caves. And if that's the case, what are we actually doing here? Is this like a roguelike or something where I'm going to have to fight that prismatic gentleman that we fought in the opening? Buffs yellow. Yeah, let's buff yellow. I'm using yellow right now. Refill my... Yeah, refill my... There we go. So there's little icons down at the bottom there under each of the spells where it's showing percentage of damage that each one does. And that's pretty rad. Now, what's this icon on the screen here? This green skull and crossbones. I want to know what that's about. I'm starting to think that I was right. And that we are sort of progressing our way towards some sort of boss fight or something like that. Where the key at? Where the key be at? I don't want to be down here. I don't want to be down here. Alright, we gotta find a way to elevate. Oh, it's a rhino. It's like a colorful rhino. I'm actually loving the enemy design. It's gotten very quiet, though. Oh, there was a key inside. Awesome. Did you chill, my guy? There we go. Good thing we didn't panic. Like, for whatever reason, the sound on this part of the game in particular, just the background music has died on us. Spell slot. Adds another spell slot. Don't mind if I do. Grape shot. Hex, yeah. We're going to assign that to the right bumper. Killer. Green. Fill it up. Green grapes. Don't mind if I do. Thanks for playing the... Excuse me? That's it? Like, I get... There should have been... Follow me here, Space Cadets. There should have been at least some sort of fight or something at the end where we could, like... you know, show off what we've learned through the demo or whatever, right? Wouldn't that have made sense? Wouldn't that have been satisfying? Wouldn't that have enticed us to maybe look forward to the full game? I was right, Ghost. And I've never been more dissatisfied to be right. Man. What a bummer. I wanted to love that magical squirrel color game. I got my hopes up. And for what? For what? Alright, please turn off gamepad. There we go. Heck, we could make a better squirrel game than that. Maybe that's what we needed this whole time. Motivation. Rooted purely in spite. I mean, we do need to do more game dev streams on the show, that's for sure. Who knows what we'll get up to. I think it was a demo code Void Sales that ended randomly like that for me. It's just so abrupt, you know? It's like, what even? What even? What even? I think lately, though, like I've seen a lot of people playing demos because there's like that big Steam summer sale and what have you. It's demo season out here. We just rolled a particularly bad one. Well, have you guys been seeing... Everybody's playing that Date Everything game. I don't know if it's actually good or not, or if it's just indulgent. I saw the Nova Swarm playing it the other week. I think I've seen at least one other streamer we know playing it. I've not really heard if it's good or not, though. Just that it's popular right now. That was also a genre that I was never really, you know, familiar with. So it wasn't something that appealed to me, but I see it. I see it all over the place right now. All right, now I want to check over on Twitch.tv. See who else is streaming tonight. Oh shoot, you know what? Nova Swarm is playing that right now. The Date Everything game. Is that Ellie playing that? I wonder. I'm gonna snoop. I'm gonna take a look-see. It sure is. I called it. By golly, I called it. Now listen, not to get, sentimental, not to get emotional or nothing, but I really do appreciate you guys hanging out with us on a Tuesday. Just a lazy day of the week, just hanging out. Being space cadets, being pals, being bros. Appreciate you too. Well, thank you, Ghost. Appreciate you. Now, the real question is, who do we go say hi to tonight? Oh, you know what? I think we're gonna go say hi to friend of the show, Maven. Because Maven's talking about she was just at Offkai. Did you run into Maven while you were there, Ghost? Maven's talking about Offkai stories, so I want to hear some Offkai stories. We've been going for a couple hours now, so I think it's time we call it quits. We haven't got too much more gas in the tank. I thought that squirrel game might take us a little longer, but alas, here we are. Know she was there, never got a chance to say hi. Aw, that's too bad. Maven's real nice. So that means, Space Cadets, that we want you guys to be on your best behavior when we raid over to say hi to Maven, alright? Say nice things. Tell her Spaceman says hi. And let's see what Offkai was good for. See you later. See you later, Domo. Thanks for tuning in tonight. It's always a pleasure to see you. Thank you, Ghost. Thank you for being here. Let's set up this raid, shall we? Just Maven, who is just chatting, just like us. All right, you guys. That's it for us tonight. But as always, Space Cadets, one and all, I want to thank each and every one of you for tuning in tonight, wherever and whenever you are. We'll be back again next week. Same time, same place, Tuesday, 8 p.m. Eastern, right here at Harbor Station. We'll catch you on the other side, Space Cadets. Until then, of course, no matter what life throws your way, good luck and Godspeed. This is Vector Spaceman, signing off. Everybody, have a great night. Play some fun games. Take some time for yourself. Try to find something a little more substantial than a magical squirrel color game that we tried to do tonight. That was a bit of a letdown, but I'm glad you guys were here to be let down with me. All right? Now we're going to go say hi to Maven. Stick around for that raid, because we're about to send you off for some more great content for your evening. Take care, everybody. We'll see y'all again real soon. Bye-bye.